Your heavily Catholic family judges and questions just excessively, so stealth merch is appreciated. Yeah, yeah, everywhere I go, I just don't want to be like, oh, I love anime. You know what I mean? Or the worst is, you don't always want people talking to you about it. Have you experienced this? You wear a shirt and it has some character from a show you like or something like that. You're walking around and you're just in the grocery store, in the bread aisle, and someone walks up and is like, I love Hunter x Hunter. And you're like, I am buying bread in the grocery store. And they're like, have you ever played the game with the... I don't want to talk to people, you know? I could add so much more to that sentence, but I just, like, no. No, thank you. You know? And the thing is, some of those people are really nice, really cool. Some of them are really fucking weird, and you can't get away from them. I mean, you can, but you have to be mean. And I don't want to just be mean to someone, but you have to sometimes so that they get the hint. And then you feel like shit. Now you're the bad guy because you wore a shirt. Right? Oh. You'd be that fucking weird guy because you're autistic, you said. And that's the thing, too, is like, let's say someone's neurodivergent and they're not even being that weird. They just like don't get the hint and they keep talking about the thing, whatever, and you're trying to get away from it. You don't know how to make it clear sometimes without being mean to that person. And you don't want to be mean, right? So like, you'll just sit there in pain going, yeah, that's so cool. Because you don't want to be that guy. And you don't hate that person for what they're doing. You just don't want to be in the situation. You know, it's just an all around sucky situation, and sometimes no one's at fault. Shouldn't have worn that shirt, you know. So that's why I prefer the stealthy merch. Then again, even if it's stealthy, if the person recognizes the thing, they'll go, oh, that's the thing I like, and then they start talking about it. So you can't always, you know, rely on that, but at least it's a little easier to you know, hide it or something. I don't know. You said stealth merch is better when it comes to VTubers, in your opinion, because it's still a field of creativity that a lot of folks don't understand very easily. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You said, you just tell them to shut up. I've lost all give a damn about seeming mean when someone has no social awareness. Not rude on purpose, but not putting energy into sugarcoating things. Yeah, it's your tone, too. It's your tone. There's a difference between going, shut up, I don't want to talk about anime, and going, hey, no offense, I'm just trying to get in and get out of the store. Another time, right? You can say things really differently and mean the same thing and not make someone feel like shit. Right? It's all about tone. It's all about tone. And even if someone's not good at reading tone, your word choice, you know, your word choice is important. So, you know, you politely explain. There are people who like being talked to. I like being talked to if I am not being held up by it. Okay, so if I am sitting there, I'm at Costco, picture this, cart full of shit. Person in front of me in line, cart full of shit. They're putting it all through the belt. I'm just sitting there watching them. Nothing I can do to make it go faster. Someone's standing behind me, cart full of shit. And they're like, I see that shit in your cart. I like that shit too. And I'm like, oh, it was priced really well, actually. You know, I usually come in on Mondays to get the meat because that's when they do the deliveries. You know, I will talk to that person every time. Every time. I enjoy that. Because they're not holding me up, you know? I will always talk to them. And actually, people just talk to me all the time. When people were sitting in a room and they're walking up to ask a question to a bunch of people they don't know, they tend to ask me. They tend to look straight at me and ask me. And I think it's because when someone walks up, I go, and I look attentively at them, like I'm like, here's your opening, you know. So it's my own fault. It's my own fault, but people always address me first, so I'm just used to it, I guess. You hate when people do small talk? I don't mind it at all. It depends on what it's about, but I like small talk. Filler words, whatever. You're sitting around, you look behind you at someone's Costco cart, and they're like looking out the window, and they just glance to you and they go, God, it's really come down, huh? You're like, yeah, you know, it was driving here even, it was just like pouring. The roads are crazy. I will do that every time, you know. I don't care. I don't care. The last bit of small talk I remember, I was in a store last week And there are a bunch of magazines, tabloids, you know, as there usually are at the checkout line. And there's some nice old lady behind me. And one of the headlines on one of them is just like, this guy's the sexiest man of the year or something like that, you know. She just looks at me, looks at the magazine, looks back at me, and she goes, I don't get it. She was like, she was an older woman. And I go, yeah, I don't know. It's not even a good picture of him. Yeah, we're just like, we just started talking about the dude on the magazine. I can't remember who it was, but we were just like, it's not, why is he wearing that? I don't know. He's funny, but he's not, you know. we were just doing that. I don't know. I do it at least once a week. I just talk to random people, and I like small talk. I do. Sit in a VC for 8 hours without saying a word and be happy as a clam. Well, I'll also be silent and be happy. I'm just a lax person, and I don't care what happens. That's it. I don't fucking care. Even if I say things bother me, I mean that in a very little way. Things don't really bother me that much. Why do you guys like corn and fishing so much? Like in my community specifically, I don't get it. Well, maybe I do get it. I don't know.